You ever notice how some women seem impossible to read? You talk to her, spend time around her, maybe even feel a connection, but you still can't figure out if she's into you or just being polite. And the worst part is you don't want to make a move and risk looking like a fool if you read it wrong. So you wait, you hesitate, and eventually someone else steps in and takes the opportunity you were too unsure to claim. Here's what nobody tells you. The reason you can't figure her out isn't because she's giving you nothing. It's because she's giving you everything in a language you haven't learned yet. Women rarely broadcast their interest the way men do. They don't walk up and make it crystal clear. Instead, they drop clues, create situations, and shift their energy in ways that only become obvious once you know what you're looking for. And here's the kicker. Sometimes the more she likes you, the less obvious she makes it. That's not a contradiction. That's female nature. Because for women, showing too much interest too soon feels like giving up control. It feels risky. It opens the door to rejection. So instead, she guards her feelings while quietly hoping you're sharp enough to pick up on the trail she's leaving behind. The problem is, most men are blind to it. They assume if a woman wants them, she'll just say it. But she won't, at least not directly. What she will do is change the way she acts around you. She'll give you access other guys don't get. She'll create opportunities for you to step up. And if you're not paying attention, you'll miss every single one. That's what we're going to fix right now. I'm going to walk you through the real signs a woman is attracted to you, but doesn't want to admit it. Not the surface level stuff. The deep psychological behaviors that reveal what she's actually feeling beneath the words she's carefully choosing. By the end of this, you'll never second guess yourself again. Let's start with something that trips up almost every guy. Her emotional reactions when you're around. See, when a woman has no interest in you, she's calm, steady, unbothered. You're just another person in her environment. But when attraction is present, even if she's trying to hide it, her emotional state shifts. She becomes more aware, more reactive. And if you know what to watch for, that shift is impossible to miss. For example, pay attention to how she behaves when you enter a room. Does she adjust her posture? Does she glance over, then quickly look away? Does her voice change mid-sentence when she realizes you're nearby? These aren't accidents. They're subconscious responses to your presence. Her body is reacting faster than her mind can cover it up. She might want to play it cool, but her system is already telling on her. Another thing you'll notice is how she manages her attention. Women are incredibly aware of where their focus goes. And when a woman likes you, she'll find reasons to keep circling back to you. Maybe she's in a group conversation, but keeps glancing your way. Maybe she asks you a question, even though the topic has nothing to do with you. Maybe she laughs just a little louder when you're the one talking. She's not doing this consciously. It's her interest pulling her toward you over and over again, even when she's trying to seem neutral. Now, let's talk about something most men completely misread: the way she handles distance. If a woman isn't into you, she'll keep space between you. Not in an obvious way, but in small protective gestures. She won't let you get too close physically. She won't linger in conversations. She won't create reasons to be near you. But when she's attracted and hiding it, the opposite happens. She'll reduce the gap. She'll stand closer than necessary. She'll find excuses to be in your orbit, like asking for help with something simple or showing up where you are more often than coincidence would explain. Here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes she'll create closeness and then immediately pull back. You'll be talking, she'll lean in, and then suddenly she'll step away or change her tone. That's not rejection, that's her catching herself. She got too comfortable, let her guard down for a second, and then remembered she's supposed to be hiding how she feels. So she overcompensates by acting a little colder or more distant right after. If you see this pattern, you're not imagining it. You're watching her internal battle play out in real time. Let's move to one of the most reliable indicators, the way she reacts to other women around you. A woman who doesn't care won't even notice if another girl is talking to you. But a woman who's hiding her attraction, she'll notice everything. She might not say anything directly, but her energy will shift. She'll go quiet. She'll start looking at her phone. She might even leave the conversation entirely. And if she stays, she'll find a way to insert herself back into your attention, either by making a joke, asking you something, or subtly positioning herself between you and the other woman. Sometimes her reaction is more aggressive. She'll make a comment about the girl you were talking to, something that sounds casual but has a little edge to it. Like she seems friendly, or wow, she was really trying to get your attention. Those aren't neutral observations. They're jealousy wrapped in sarcasm. She's testing to see if you notice the other woman and whether you care what she thinks about it. The fact that she's commenting at all means she's emotionally invested in who gets your focus. Here's something subtle but powerful. Watch how she talks about you to other people when she thinks you're not listening. Women who are hiding their feelings will sometimes reveal them in these moments. She might defend you if someone criticizes you. She might bring you up in conversation for no real reason. She might even downplay her connection to you as a way of protecting herself from being obvious. If someone asks if she likes you, she'll probably say no, but her tone and body language will tell a different story. Pay attention to how others react to her when your name comes up. If they smirk or tease her, it's because they've picked up on something she's trying to hide. Now let's talk about something that drives men crazy: the inconsistency. One day she's texting you first, engaging deeply, being playful. The next day she's short, distant, barely responding. You start wondering if you did something wrong. You replay the last conversation in your head, trying to figure out what changed. But here's the truth. Nothing changed except her fear. When she gets too close, too comfortable, too obvious, she panics. She worries she's showing too much. So she pulls back to regain control and protect herself from the vulnerability she's starting to feel. This push and pull isn't meant to confuse you. It's her way of managing her emotions while keeping you interested. She doesn't want to lose you, but she also doesn't want to be the one who's more invested. So she creates distance to test if you'll chase or if you'll stay grounded. And here's the key. If you chase, you fail. If you panic and start questioning her or trying harder, she'll sense your insecurity and it'll turn her off. But if you stay calm, give her space, and continue being confident, she'll come back even stronger. Let me give you a real-world example of how this looks. Imagine you've been talking to a woman for a few weeks. Things are going well. She's responsive, laughing at your jokes, initiating plans. Then suddenly, she cancels on you last minute. Her texts get slower. She seems less available. Most guys would spiral here. They'd assume she lost interest or found someone else. But a man who understands women knows this is often the opposite. She's pulling back because she's starting to feel something real, and that scares her. So instead of panicking, he stays cool. He doesn't bombard her with messages. He doesn't demand explanations. He just continues living his life. And within days, she's back, often with more energy than before, because she realized pulling away didn't shake him. Here's another sign that's easy to overlook: the questions she asks. When a woman is genuinely interested but hiding it, she'll ask you things that seem casual but are actually designed to learn more about your life. She'll ask about your plans, your friends, what you did over the weekend, what kind of person you usually date. These aren't small talk, they're reconnaissance. She's gathering information to understand where she stands and whether she fits into your world. And the more detailed her questions get, the more invested she actually is. Also notice how she remembers things. If she brings up something you mentioned weeks ago, something small and seemingly unimportant, that's a massive sign. Women don't remember random details about men they don't care about. But when she's attracted, even if she won't admit it, she's mentally cataloging everything you say. She's paying attention in a way that goes beyond friendship or politeness. That level of attention is emotional investment, plain and simple. Now let's talk about touch. This one is huge. Women are very intentional about physical contact, especially with men. If she's not into you, she'll avoid it. But if she likes you, even when she's hiding it, she'll find small, plausible ways to touch you. A hand on your arm when she laughs, fixing your collar or brushing something off your shirt, sitting close enough that your legs touch. These moments might seem accidental, but they're not. She's testing the waters. She's creating physical connection in ways that give her plausible deniability if you don't respond. Here's what makes this even more telling. If you reciprocate, even lightly, and she doesn't pull away, that's confirmation. A woman who isn't interested will create distance the moment you cross into her personal space. But one who's hiding her attraction will not only allow it, she'll often lean into it. She might not say anything. She might even act like nothing happened, but her body just told you everything. Another behavior to watch for is how she responds when you talk about other women. If you mention an ex, a coworker, or even a female friend, notice her reaction. Does she get quieter? Does she ask follow-up questions that feel slightly pointed? Does her tone shift just a bit? Women who are emotionally uninvolved won't care, but a woman who likes you will feel a sting of jealousy even if she tries to hide it. And that jealousy, however subtle, is one of the clearest indicators of her real feelings. Sometimes she'll even test you by talking about other men. She'll mention a guy who texted her or someone who asked her out. She's not doing this to hurt you. She's doing it to see how you react. Will you get defensive? Will you act unbothered? Your response tells her how much power she has and whether you're emotionally affected by the idea of her with someone else. It's a game, sure, but it's also her way of gauging your interest without directly asking. Let's address something important. Why do women hide their attraction in the first place? It comes down to self-protection and social conditioning. From a young age, women are taught that being too forward makes them look desperate. They're told that men should chase, that mystery is attractive, and that showing too much interest gives away their value. So even when she's really into you, she'll instinctively guard that feeling until she's sure you're worth the risk. On top of that, rejection hits differently for women. When a man gets rejected, it stings, but he's socially conditioned to brush it off and try again. When a woman puts herself out there and gets rejected, it can feel like a deeper blow to her self-worth. So instead of being direct, she drops hints and waits for you to make the move. That way, if things don't work out, she can tell herself she never really tried, which softens the emotional impact. Understanding this changes everything. It means her hesitation isn't about you. It's about her protecting herself. And the more you can create a safe, confident space where she doesn't have to fear judgment or rejection, the more likely she is to let her guard down and show you what she's really feeling. Here's the bottom line. Women communicate attraction differently than men. They won't hand it to you on a plate. They'll make you work for it, not because they're playing games, but because that's how their psychology is wired. They need to see that you're observant, confident, and emotionally intelligent enough to read between the lines. And when you prove that you are, when you pick up on her signals without needing her to spell it out, that's when her attraction deepens into something real. So stop waiting for her to make it obvious. Start paying attention to the small things: her eyes, her energy, her patterns, the way she moves around you, the questions she asks, the jealousy she tries to hide. All of it is communication. All of it is her way of saying something she's not ready to say out loud.